Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video. Now welcome to an episode of League Discussion. Now we've not done one of these like properly in a really long time. So hopefully you guys are happy they're back. If you are, please throw a like on the video. But the idea of it was sometimes, throughout the weeks or months, there's a trend in the comment section that gets built up, a topic or two. And these are the best episodes to kind of talk them through. Like, I can try to talk about them when I'm doing a live commentary, but you never can do it fully because I'm playing while I'm talking. Well, these are dedicated to just the topics that we've got to talk about. So the footage that you'll see on the background would have been one of the games recently that probably I've got a bunch of wins that I'm not even uploading because some of them weren't like the most interesting even victories. So maybe I'll use one of those. But the two topics we're going to talk about today, firstly, is what is a cheese pick, and what makes it a cheese pick? What is it? What differs a cheese pick to off meta, or are they the same thing? So we'll go through that. Secondly, is very quickly any general advice I have to climb, because the comment section that is a very obviously big topic is how do I climb? How do I get out of bronze? Oh, it's impossible, all that type of thing. So I'll just give some very quick bullet points to climb. But yeah, the main one is going to be the whole cheese pick stuff. So what I will say as well, this is my personal definition of a cheese pick. You may think something slightly different. Other people out there may think slightly different, and that's completely okay. But people have asked me the question, therefore I'm going to give my approach to the whole situation. So a cheese pick to me is, in essence, it's mainly it's two things that have to go into a cheese pick, because the first one isn't perfectly, it can be two things. So the pick has to be played somewhere that it's technically not designed to be in. So that's number one. So that can either, the reason why it's not just that, because there's off meta and there's cheese picks. So something off meta, for example, Camille Mid. Camille Mid is technically off meta. She's designed to be more of a top laner, a little bit of a jungler. She's not technically designed to be a mid laner. It's off meta, but it's not really a cheese pick. It's more of a counter pick, because the second half to what I define a cheese pick is does the pick that you're picking in the off position eventually put your team actually at a disadvantage later into the game? A great example of this is the ultimate example to me is something like an AD carry top lane is very annoying in lane phase to a bruiser or whatever, very annoying. But then when you get to mid to late game, you suddenly are missing that bruiser on your team, that tank on your team that kind of sometimes holds your team together like the glue and gives a bit of CC, a bit of survivability, and then you suddenly have two AD carries and things can kind of fall apart. That's the definition to me of a cheese pick. So one, you're playing a champion that is in somewhere that it's not designed to be for. Secondly, it eventually, and again, we're talking averages here. It's not always going to be the case, because obviously League of Legends is designed in the fact that a lot of the player is more technically important than the champion. But if you're just going off team comps, you're just going off the champions, eventually that AD carry top lane or that Twitch jungle or whatever, they're eventually going to make your team suffer in the long run. Recently we uploaded an episode that we were Darius versus that Nico, and we had a Twitch jungle and a Lulu mid, and you could hear in that commentary I'm saying, hey, it's 20 minutes in the game, we really need to end this game, because if the game did go to 40 minutes, then suddenly we have two AD carries and two supports. Our comp will just completely fall apart because we've got cheese picks. So that's in essence what it is. So the main difference between cheese and off meta is the off meta thing. Yes, you're technically playing something in a position it's not designed to be in, but it doesn't put your team eventually at a natural disadvantage. Camille Mid can work just as much as a Zed can, really. It fulfills relatively the same job, albeit slightly different, but it doesn't put your team at a crazy disadvantage. Other examples, I guess, Karthus jungle, that was a off-meta pick for ages. People did do Karthus jungle before it came meta, but it didn't put your team at a disadvantage. You had a carry in a carry position, because jungle, for the longest time now, has been about carrying. It hasn't necessarily been about tanks. I'm sure it'll come back to tanks eventually, but at the time when Karthus was becoming a jungler, it was no disadvantage. The champion just scaled amazingly well, and you're like, oh snap, like he's just going to carry. So like not technically a cheese pick because you're not putting your team at a disadvantage. So that's what I find a cheese pick, because like if you're wondering where does the whole definition of cheese have come from, I'm not entirely sure the origin of it, but a great example of it was from StarCraft. I know a lot of you probably haven't played StarCraft or StarCraft 2, but there was a strategy called six pooling in StarCraft, which was a cheese strategy. The idea of it was if you played a race called Zerg, you built very early aggressive, these Zergling characters, and if you did it, you went all in for your early game, and if it didn't work, you didn't like wreck the opponent's mineral line or anything, the enemy screwed, they would have surrendered. But if it didn't work, they would just surrender the game, because there was basically no coming back from investing that heavily into the cheese early. And it's kind of the same thing with League of Legends, is that if the Twitch jungle doesn't get ahead early, if the Vayne top loses lane, if the Lucian mid loses to a Kassadin mid, you're basically screwed. That's what a cheese pick is, at least to me. I wouldn't recommend them. Again, generally the cheese picks and what they're kind of used for, I found at least, they're for people that are desperate for LP. They'll do anything for the LP. They don't care about being a good player. They just want that rank. And that's when the Twitch jungles, the Vayne tops and stuff come out. Because all they're wanting is that just very quick, cheesy 20-minute win just to get the LP. They're not looking to grind it out, looking to like perfect their gameplay, because that's not what a cheese pick's about. Obviously, again, they do have negatives to them, but that is also, in essence, why generally you don't see cheese picks in pre-made play. Cheese picks fall off incredibly heavily when communication is involved. That's why you won't really see something like a Vayne top lane in pro play. You won't really see a Twitch jungle in pro play, because communication really hurts those picks, because the whole idea of them is to just kind of make use of the chaos of solo queue. In coordinated play, in smarter level play, they're irrelevant. You know, again, the Nico top that we were against, that's kind of a cheese pick. It's not as useful as a bruiser eventually. It's not really designed to be in top lane, and we played smart. We denied the Nico the cheese by building rejuve and not taking stupid fights. That's kind of the idea of it. So hopefully that clears it up for some people, because we had a couple comments in my Camille mid challenger replay going, oh, Huzz is praising Camille mid, but then is angry about Twitch jungle. They're completely different. Camille mid doesn't put your team at a disadvantage eventually. It's an AD carry champion in a role that it's still a carry role that, yeah, you're not giving a disadvantage. Camille can carry just as really much as Zed can, or a Talon can. Yeah, it's a bit different, but it can work. And you're also shutting down your lane opponent by going Camille. So it's an off-meta pick. It's not a cheese pick. Again, by my own definition, your definition might be slightly different. So that's overall that. We've had a couple comments about it, just, wanting me to clarify, and that's fine. Again, if you ever want me to something to clarify when it comes to my own opinions and that, just feel free just to comment about it. I'm more than happy to explain at least my methodology behind my decisions and my experience within League. So, yeah, and that's why generally I'm never scared of cheese picks. Because I just have I don't play cheese picks, people know this. I just have the confidence, if I play smart, I will beat that cheese pick. Like, it's inevitable. That's the point. Don't get behind early. You'll hear me say that all the time whenever I'm against a Twitch jungle. Don't get behind early and we'll win the game. It's pretty much that simple when I'm against them. And for the most part, it works like that. Like, it just does. And if I wanted to say something it's not controversial, but Huzzy personal experience here, people that are playing cheese picks also rage really fast because they know it's a ticking time bomb. They have to try and do well in the early game, otherwise they're not going to be useful. So if there is a Vayne top lane or a Twitch jungle or whatever, camp it, beat it, smash it into the ground, because that will just give you the free win. But there's that. That's the cheese pick versus off meta talk. Now we're going to just go into a couple of little advice pieces, I guess, for climbing. Because we've had a couple, obviously you always do when it's early season. You have comments ranging from, oh God, I shouldn't have played ranked right now, I'm not playing very well, to the guy that's blaming everything apart from themselves. So the first thing just to say and clarify, I don't know if I've said it for a while, but you are in control of the rating you're in. even though this is a team game, when you average it out, whatever rating you get, as long as you play enough games, you deserve the rating you get, and you can't say, I deserve this rating if you've never achieved it. I hate when people do that. You see it in the comment section all the time. Someone trying to type something, giving advice. By the way, a lot of the advice you see on the YouTube comment section or Reddit is wrong. But then you go, someone replies to them, oh, cool advice, what rating are you? And you go, oh, I'm silver, but I do believe I belong in platinum. No, screw that. If anybody ever says that, ignore the person instantly. You get what you deserve. And yes, you have to play a certain amount of games. So if you're one of those people that are sitting here right now with a smug smile on your face, oh, I'm silver right now, but if I played more games, I'd be platinum. No, you're silver right now. You can't say you'll be platinum unless you did it. So get platinum first, then you can claim your platinum. Secondly, when it comes to it, I've always worked off the 40-40-20 rule, always, which it sounds depressing, but it's really true. And even Reddit recently, and I've tried to limit how much I go on LOL Reddit. A guy was like, solo queue doesn't feel competitive. And he's like, oh, this is just numbers that I'm getting out of my own head, but 40% of games are automatic wins, 40% of games are automatic losses, and the 20% you can make up the difference. He's like, Season 10 feels bad. No, that's always what solo queue has been. Always. So I've played ranked since Season 1. That's 100% what ranked has been. One game, you've got a guy that is like, how the hell are you in this rating? I had one last night. Maybe that's the video that's playing right now. I had a Varus that just was so bad. And it's like, how are you here? We ended up winning the game because we scaled well, but it was just mind-baffling to me. But luckily we won. That's that 20% of games that's like, we've got a terrible teammate, but I've got to try and do something to win this game. That's the difference. But there's 40% of your games, you have that idiot or whatever that is just bad or inting or trolling, whatever, or AFKs. 40% of your games, and this is the funny thing, you're automatically going to win, generally. But the funny thing, because people lean towards more negative sides, you don't remember your free wins. I can guarantee you right now, you're not really thinking clearly if you think you never get free wins. You do, 100%. You just don't think about it. That teammate, or the enemy, sorry, that was like 5-0 down, but just because it wasn't in your lane. It was like, oh, the enemy bot lane is 0-5. You got a free win. Or, oh, the enemy top laner didn't connect until 3 minutes in. That should be a free win. Like, there's so much stuff that you just kind of don't compute because it's not, like, obvious to you straight away because it's on the enemy team. It's more obvious when one of your allies is doing that than one of your enemies, because when your enemy is doing it, you're happy about it and you kind of forget about it. Hey, free LP. But I can guarantee, as much as you get trolls and everything on your team, you get them on the enemy team too. And if you really went through it, you know, you probably do. If not, it's going to be very close. But then, yeah, the 20% of games that's left, that is where you as an individual have to make the difference. But the vast majority of the time, whenever you get one of these people, oh, yellow hell, blah, blah, you'll get their profile, you'll look through it, and they're awful because they play to not win. They play to exist. They don't play to win. There's a massive difference in those two. So my advice for climbing is in the 20% of games that you can make an impact, don't just play to exist, play to win. Don't die a lot is a big one. That's the one that I always see the most, is like, oh, this person's stuck in silver, they think they can get platinum. They average 8 deaths a game. Okay, well, there we go. Don't do that. Pick smart picks. I can't stress that enough. I know people get bonded to champions, but there's a reason I do not get bonded to champions. It's because if they're weak right now, I ain't playing them. It's that simple. Why would you? Like, you're putting yourself at an unnecessary disadvantage. Pick strong champions. Pick things that are useful to winning the game. And obviously pick things that you enjoy playing, but that's where you've got to weigh up, what are you in League for? You can't be the person screaming and shouting about not climbing, but then playing Teemo top every game. That's not how that should work. If you're playing Teemo top every game, you should probably accept, I'm having fun, I'm just, poking people out, laughing a lot. That's not going to help you climb that much. Just accept it. Play something that can actually carry the game and win, and then you can talk about wanting to climb. Control your emotions. I can't stress that one enough. That's a big one, and that's why even I've got rid of the chats. I would very much recommend to do that. I can say you right now, chat does nothing positive in League of Legends. Interaction, even though it's a PvP teammate game, interacting with your teammates when it comes to chat or talking to them in League of Legends for solo queue does nothing. apart from pretty much lead to confusion. So my advice would be get rid of the chats. You can disable them in the options. You never have to see allied chat or all chat. Just get rid of it. It's not useful. Finally, again, have fun is an important one, but also realize when you're not having fun or you're not feeling it right now. This is something that I've had to do personally. Today is Saturday. I normally stream today. I streamed yesterday and I wasn't really feeling it. You know, you could just feel it inside. It's like, not really feeling today, but I'm going to stream, see how it goes. I had one game of solo queue. It went terrible. We had a terrible Tristana, like really bad. And I was like, oh, I'm not playing anymore today. I woke up today kind of with the same feeling. Therefore, I'm not playing today. Like, I'm not going to force myself. Like, luckily, I've got enough content at the moment because it's early season. I've got a lot of content prepared. But yeah, like, don't force yourself. Like, if I don't force myself and it's my job, you should definitely not force yourself when it's a hobby or a game, because why would you? Like, it's not worth it. You're not going to climb if you're in the mentality of, I'm not feeling it really right now, or whatever it may be. So those are like the very basic stuff. Obviously, there's a vast world of how to climb and carry and all that stuff. You know, I've told you guys for ages, and yes, it's like some people are like, isn't that a contradiction? Play strong things, but ignore tier lists. Tier lists are garbage. Look at statistics. Like, again, if there's a tier list out there that they advertise our tier list is built around statistics, then fair enough, but most of them are not. Most of them are built off personal opinion rather than statistics. You can't ignore statistics. And the two most important statistics, I believe, pick rate and ban rate for high rating. That will tell you which champions people are worried about and which champions, as soon as it's not banned, they'll pick. It's just straight that simple. Like, win rate is pointless. Like, Akali is the most broken champion in the game. Terrible win rate. You know, that's the point. It's different. Win rate is irrelevant when you as an individual could just be really good at a good champion, and certain champions in League only work if you're good with a champion. Like, you can play something basic and just get a okay win rate, but if you played Akali and you're not very good at Akali, yeah, you're going to suck. But if you play Akali and you're really good, she's unstoppable. You can't beat that champion. Like, it's the same what happened to Azir a while ago in high rating. The champion had a 44% win rate in overall. Like, I think the win rates go off Platinum Plus, so everyone's like, oh, he's got a terrible win rate, the champion must be weak. Yet he was in every single pro game he could be, and he was in every single challenger game he could be when it wasn't banned. So that's where you have to look at ban rate and pick rate, and I'd say the Diamond Plus, probably not Platinum Plus, and that will give you a much better idea of what's strong in the game right now. So that's what I'd say. Again, move with the meta. You know, that's my general advice. Always move with the meta, play what's strong, and play to your strength. You know, you can look at the meta list and like look at what's ban picked and go, oh snap, I don't know, Fizz is really strong right now. But if you suck at being an assassin player, don't play it. You know, play what you're good at. Oh, you know, I'm a control mage player. Oh, Victor's not bad right now. Play Victor instead. So yeah, that's my general advice is. But overall, that was today's League discussion episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Haven't done one of these in a while, so I might have been a bit rusty. But yeah, if you've got any more topics you want me to cover, put them in the comment section. I'll give that a good read in the next few days. And I don't mind, again, as always, these are discussion episodes. Reply to me. What do you think about what I've said? And I'll be in the comment section as well, typing back and all that good stuff. And I want you guys to discuss as well. Because that's the point, is that HuzzyGames, our average age of watching this channel is actually like in the mid-20s, like the same age as me, which is really cool. And then I think it actually goes above the mid-20s. It goes to late 20s, early 30s, and then it goes down to teenagers. So we've got a bit of a different demographic here than the average YouTube channel, which should lead to some good adult discussion in the comment section and stuff. That's why I do respect the community we built here, because it's quite a mature one, which is nice to see in League of Legends. But that's going to be it. If you guys enjoy, throw a like on it, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.